Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick the code side for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same empire back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs that we on the CNN. BBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV.
Hey, what's happening, Black people? Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I have some really funny stuff I want to talk to you guys about today. As you guys know, this is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're not Black and intelligent, you may want to leave right now. This is not the conversation for you. But if you are Black and intelligent, then say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud, because this is the place for you. This is a place where we have open-minded conversations about a multitude of topics that relate to our community, and you guys are gonna have some fun with this one today. Do me a favor, shout out your city, shout out your business, shout something out. I see Brooklyn's here. Chris Hill says you're a simp. Well, Chris can get the middle finger, so I don't even know. You're really the simp because you up here hanging out on my podcast. You don't even like me. I guess I must be the Negro they love to hate. What's going on? The blood of Ogun. How you doing, brother? Lene, Janelle, I'm Black and I'm proud. That's right. That's right. Also, if you put Black people first, if Black people belong at the top of your priority list, then type B1 in the chat. Please type B1 in the chat if you believe Black people should always be first in all things that we do in our lives. So let's get it cracking. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Hit the thumbs up button if you're on Twitter. Please retweet this conversation. Etc. Maybe somebody else will come in here to cuss me out and tell me how much they hate me. I love that. So anyway, let me tell you guys what's going on, what got my attention today. It looks like there's some interesting stuff kind of happening in the political arena. I don't know if you guys saw this, give me a yes or no if you saw this, but it looks like Donald Trump's got these allies, these surrogates that are out running through Black neighborhoods, handing out cash. Right, just doing these cash giveaways in all these different Black neighborhoods, and it's really fascinating to watch because the Democrats are pissed off about it. Like they can't stand it. They think it's they're buying your vote, and yeah, they are. I mean, in America's a capitalist society. You kind of buy everything. You have to buy your election. I mean, if you don't have $1 billion in the bank, you can't be president. When people do quid pro quos with politicians, they expect some sort of financial benefit. There are corporations that are making money by who's in the White House. So I don't even know. I don't see why Black folks have to be any different. I think that if everybody else is getting paid, I don't have any problem with Black people getting paid. Just because you took the money don't mean you got to go show up and vote for somebody, right? But anyway, it's really, really, really riling up a lot of people, riling up the Democrats, of course, because they of course, they see this as a big problem and a threat and stuff like that. And I just think it's really hilarious. It really just made me laugh because, finance and money and investing, that's kind of my thing. That's kind of what I'm interested in. And the reality is that, they're hitting a hot button issue. They're hitting the nail on the head in the sense of, they're going right where people need them the most. They're going right where people want them to be. I know a lot of Black folks who might get caught up in the Democrat Republican nonsense and all that. But most Black folks I know are just trying to pay the bills. They're just trying to figure out how to pay the rent, figuring out how to buy, a better house, figuring out how to save some assets up for their children, figuring out how to keep a damn job, just trying to make it day to day. Right. And if you're in that category, then let me know. I mean, most Black folks, when they say ain't nothing going on but the rent, that's not just true for Black folks. That's really actually true for most Americans. I don't know if you've ever heard this comment. Give me a yes or no if you've ever heard this old saying that says, it's the economy, stupid. Has anybody ever heard that saying that it's the economy, stupid? Yes or no? Let me know if you've heard that before. Well, that saying comes from the fact that, in general, in politics, the biggest thing people care about the most is not social issues. They don't care about whether or not, transgender kids get to use the women's bathroom this week when they were using the men's bathroom last week. They don't care about, things like feminism and all this other stuff. They're just worried about trying to pay their damn bills. They're worried about trying to take care of their family. And so the reason I thought this move was hilarious is because I enjoy watching white people fight over their entitlement. I think it's hilarious. I think that it's fun to watch. I think that those are white folks' problems. I really don't see this as being, they're not taking anything from me. If the Republicans go into black neighborhoods and hand out cash and there are black people who take the cash, I'm happy for those people for getting money. Like I don't know. I'm not saying that you should be a Republican or a Democrat, right? I mean, the most threatening thing I've ever said politically, which actually caused me to, I believe this got me banned from Ebony magazine. Actually, the most threatening thing I've ever said politically is not, black people should go vote for the Democrats or they should vote for the Republicans. The most threatening thing I've ever said that bothered them was that I said black people should do what the fuck you want. Like, that's it. I just believe black people should do what works best for you. Everybody else in politics is doing what's best for them. I think it's okay for you to join that crowd and to say, look, I'm just going to do what's best for me and my family, and that's it. So again, putting black people first, B1, type B1 in the chat if you agree that black people should come first. So let me analyze this in a little more detail. That was the short version of the story for those who have short attention spans. You have people that come into the podcast that really need to hear the whole story in 30 seconds or less. So all the ignorant Negroes can leave the building. I want the intelligent black folks to stay in the room for a minute so we can really break this down. And I can tell you what I'm seeing as a financial guy. Before I move on, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Next week, I'm going to do a private Q&A where I'm going to answer questions about investing, stuff like that for an hour, hour and a half. If you'd like to join, then join our League of Intelligent Black People. You will get a free invitation to these Q&As. Go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. We ask you to support the channel, and we support you by bringing you into a private space where we can talk about investing and wealth building and stuff like that. So feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com if you want to be a part of that. All right, so here's what I'm seeing. Okay, so in fact, I'm going to read some of this, and then I'll tell you a little bit more. This is from Politico. It says, allies of Donald Trump have begun holding events in black communities where organizers lavish praise on the president as they hand out tens of thousands of dollars to lucky attendees. The first giveaway took place last month in Cleveland, where recipients whose winning tickets were drawn from a bin landed cash gifts in increments of several $100s stuffed in envelopes. A second giveaway scheduled for this month in Virginia has been postponed, and more are said to be in the works. The tour comes as Trump's campaign has been investing its own money to make inroads with black voters and erode Democrats' overwhelming advantage with them. But the cash giveaways are organized under the auspices of an outside charity, the Urban Revitalization Coalition, permitting donors to remain anonymous and make tax-deductible contributions. Now, let me tell you what's going on right now. And this is you can read this between the lines just by virtue of the fact that they call this organization the Urban Revitalization Coalition. The Urban Revitalization Coalition. The Urban Revitalization Coalition. Forget the word coalition. Let's focus on the words urban revitalization. Here's what they're basically saying right now. Here's what's basically happening right now. Have you ever seen a man in a relationship with a woman where he ain't treating her right? Have you ever seen a relationship where a man is with a woman and he ain't nice to her? He ain't taking her out to dinner anymore. She's singing that old song. Remember, early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table. Remember that song? And make sure that your coffee has its sugar and cream. Everybody knows that song. If you know that song, raise your hand. Great song. I probably just fucked it up, but you know the song, right? And she's saying, I do all this for you. I put breakfast at your table. I make sure your coffee has its sugar and cream. and now the juice is sour. It used to be so sweet. And I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me, right? So imagine a man who has a good woman, who's loyal as hell, who's by his side, and he ain't doing right by that woman. He's not treating her right. He ain't taking her out to dinner. He ain't fucking her right no more. He ain't doing nothing right. And so another man says, I think I can get that woman. All I'm going to do is I'm going to acknowledge all the things that he has failed to acknowledge in this relationship. I'm going to get that woman because I'm going to go over and show her what it feels like to make sweet love in the afternoon and to actually enjoy the experience. I'm going to basically find the areas where he's ignoring her and not doing his damn job, and I'm going to do a better job than him. Now, that's what the Republicans, that's what the Trump campaign is basically doing with black folks. They're literally throwing it right into the face of the Democrats and also into the face of black people who are very loyal to the Democratic Party. They're throwing it in their face that there are these glaring, problematic, persistent, long-lasting hypocrisies and persistent neglect that has occurred over the last 20 or 30 years. So when they say urban revitalization coalition, what they're saying is that you've got all these urban communities with all these loyal black folks all throughout the United States. And all these communities have for 30, 40 years been under consistent Democratic rule. For 30, 40 years, the Democrats have run these urban areas, and they are so jacked up that they need to be revitalized. No different from a man who runs into a woman who's got cobwebs on her hoochie because her man ain't touched her since 1985. Seriously, so when they say urban revitalization, that's basically like a man saying, "Girl, I'm gonna help you get your groove back because I know what you've been missing. I know that your man ain't doing right by you. Let me show you what a real man feels like." Now, here's the problem, though, right? It's not really a real man. It's not a good man. It's just a better man, right? It's not a great man. It's just a man who's doing a couple of the things that the other man did not do. So you're going from extreme neglect to pretty strong neglect. Like, you're not going from a terrible man to a great man. You're going from a terrible man to a bad man, right? Which actually, given that we tend to view things relatively speaking, you feel like you're going to a better man, like you feel like you're in a better situation, which you technically kind of could be. Who knows? Because I can tell you this, and this is just something that's just real. This is just me telling you the truth. Get mad at me for telling the truth if you want to, but I can't change the truth. The truth is going to be what's going to be, right? Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the truth. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the Democrats. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at reality, right? Get pissed at reality. Because the reality is that 12 years, 20 years, black folks have been begging the Democratic Party to pay some level of attention. Folks have been begging since Jesus was a teenager, since Jesus was in high school. Black folks have been begging the Democrats to earn their vote and acknowledge something about what's going on in their communities. Black folks have been, for many decades, been talking about all the young boys that are being shot up in the hood. They've been for decades talking about, the economic problems that are in the hood. They've been talking consistently for many, many years about the fact that you can't get bank loans in the hood to build black businesses. And so these neighborhoods are falling apart. They've talked consistently about the fact that property values are declining, and then gentrification is coming in when white folks are eating up all the property that we used to own, right? And the Democrats have ignored that. So by calling this organization the Urban Revitalization Coalition, that's basically like another man saying, "I'm gonna go take your woman and knock the cobwebs off what, and I'm gonna show her what good loving feels like, or what a little bit of attention feels like, and she's gonna think it's great, and you're gonna get mad." And so the Democrats, by getting mad about all of this, by going off, "Well, they're buying your vote. This ain't right. They're buying your vote." What I would just say to the Democrats is, well, since black folks need money too, why don't you come and try to pay a higher price? Why don't you pay more money for the votes then? Why don't you? I mean, seriously, like it says, how many of you in this room, if I was giving away money right now, if I was giving away $100 bills right now, how many of you would take one? Give me a yes or no. How many of you in this room, if I was giving away $100 bills right here in class right now, or right here in this podcast, was giving away $100 bills, how many of you would be happy to take one and put one in your pocket and use that to go pay your bills and feed your family? Yes or no? Yes or no? And why would you do that? You would do that because everybody needs money. Everybody needs resources. Voting is pretty much about your ability to survive economically. That's why you vote, is for politicians that are going to make sure that you can meet your basic needs, and you can't meet your basic needs without money. It does not mean that money is the most important thing in the world, but when you have no money, which a lot of urban communities do not, when you have no money, money does become the most important thing in the world. It's like bathrooms. Bathrooms are not the most important thing in the world. We know this, right? But when you got to pee, the only thing you're thinking about is a bathroom. So basically, what the Trump administration is doing is they are coming in to the hood and they're like, hey, girl, you've been neglected. He ain't treating you right. Let me just drop something on you real quick and make your life a little bit better. And then that'll give him some competition, right? So the Democrats are mad the same way, a really bad boyfriend would be mad if somebody came along, if he had some woman that was loyal to him for no reason, and he was treating her like shit, but she was still there. He knew he could call her when he needed a sandwich. He could call her when he needed some sex. He could call her when he needed somebody to come through for him, but he would never come through for her. He would never pick up the phone when she called. And then suddenly a man is paying attention to the woman you've neglected. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to talk shit about the other man. That's what insecure, weak men do. Instead of stepping their game up, he's going to say, oh, well, he ain't nothing but a dog, or what, you ain't nothing but a whore, or blah, 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 right? Any ladies ever seen that? Where a man literally, rather than improving his own behavior and stepping up his own standard, will degrade the other person. Same thing, I've seen women do this as well. Like, oh, but that old raggedy slut, that old raggedy bitch, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe the reason you're calling her a raggedy bitch and a slut is because she's actually giving your man the respect and attention that he deserved, that you should have gave him, but you never gave it to him because you took him for granted, right? So all politics, if you understand love, you can understand politics. If you understand love, you can understand economics. And if you understand economics, you can understand politics, because politics is driven by economics. And that's why I'm addressing politics today. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. And also thank you to those of you who joined us last night for Black Movie Night. You guys know I'm a big believer that we need to build a Black Hollywood. We need to make our own movies to control our own images. And so I invited in some filmmakers. They had 3 short films we screened. One's called Baba King. The other one was called My Brother's Keeper. The other one was called Hope's Equation. And Malcolm Jenkins was one of the producers that was there. There was also some actors and filmmakers, a brother named Poole, last name Poole, and a few others that were there. So if you want to join the next Black Movie Night, join us in the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com. You can get started for free. And then I'll invite you guys into Black Movie Night so you can come in and hang out with us. So it's theblackbusinessschool.com. All right. So one of the things about politics is really important. The term you have to understand, Dr. Claude Anderson's talked about this before. I want to make sure you get this. It's called quid pro quo. Politics is based on quid pro quo. It means something for something. It means if you do something for me, I'll do something for you. If you don't want to do anything for me, then I'm not going to do anything for you, right? So basically, this quid pro quo tends to come in the form of some sort of financial benefits. So what I want to ask you guys is, give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Do you think politicians pander? Do politicians like to pander? Yes or no? Have you ever seen politicians do things where you felt like they were just pandering to the voter, that they really maybe don't care, but they're just pandering to get the voters to be excited for a temporary moment so they can get something out of them? Give me a yes or no if you've ever noticed and been kind of a little bit disturbed and disgusted by political pandering. Yeah, so pandering makes sense. Pandering happens all the time. The Democrats pander like crazy. Examples of pandering might be Bill Clinton when he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. A lot of people voted for him because he played the saxophone, which makes absolutely no sense, because why would you Why would you vote for somebody to be in office because they played the saxophone, right? But it is what it is, right? Pandering happens, right? Politicians pander. Well, with the Republicans, these cash donations, it's absolutely, positively, completely, without a doubt, it's pandering, right? It's like if a man says to a woman, "I think you are the most beautiful woman in the world." Well, I hate to tell you this, ladies, but he's lying, and he's lying, and he's lying. The reason he's lying is because there's only one woman who's the most beautiful woman in the world, and it probably ain't you. That don't mean you ain't pretty. But number one on earth, really? Like Kobe Bryant could have made an argument to be the number one basketball player in the world, but that doesn't mean there weren't other great basketball players, right? So if somebody goes up to a basketball player and says, you're the greatest basketball player in the world, they're lying, because he can't beat Kobe, he can't beat Michael Jordan, he's not better than LeBron, right? So even Kobe might not have been the best, but who knows? It was debate. It was a debate, right? So pandering kind of happens, right? People blow smoke up our butt, make us feel better to get something from us, but it's okay as long as it makes sense and you're getting something that actually makes you happy and makes you comfortable. So Democratic politicians, they pander too. Republicans pander. Now, what I'm seeing here is not so much a matter of whether or not the pandering itself is a bad thing, because that's what I've heard. I heard the Democrats say, well, they're just pandering. Okay, fine. But I'm looking at the quality of the pandering. I'm like, okay, so they're pandering with cash, like they're pandering with money in an envelope. You're pandering with, like, you're doing the wobble with Roland Martin. Anybody remember when Hillary Clinton did the wobble with Roland Martin, and he showed her how to do the wobble, which was about one of the most embarrassing moments in all of Black history. No disrespect to Roland, but that was a hugely embarrassing moment when he was teaching her how to buck dance. Or when Bill Clinton played the saxophone, or when when Yang goes to a Black church and he's swaying with the choir and trying to really, and it's okay. I mean, it's all pandering. I'm telling you, pandering is not a bad thing in itself, but there's pandering that benefits me, and there's pandering that doesn't help me at all. If you pander to me by saying, here's an envelope full of money, I'm gonna be like, oh, you just pandering, but thank you, I appreciate the money, thank you. I'm gonna put it in my pocket, right? But if you pander to me by eating barbecue chicken with my pastor, that doesn't help me pay the bills with my kids. Because right now we're having a debate over this thing called reparations. Well, what is reparations? It's all about the money. It's all about most people would probably support some sort of cash payment for reparations, right? So there's a conversation about economic exchange happening, and this to me fits in that conversation. It doesn't mean that these are reparations. This is not the same as reparations, but what I see is that where the Republicans are trying to get something right, and where the reason why there are Black people that are now voting for them. I told you guys, I'm not voting for anybody. Nobody's impressed me enough to get my vote. But the reason that people are voting is because they're like, okay, the Democrats are giving me this bullshit social acceptance nonsense. Like if I'm gay or something, like they're going to tell me that I'm equal or whatever. But they're like, no, I need to figure out how to pay my bills. I want to start my business. I want to be able to feed my family, right? These are the things that people care about. And that's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on hitting the sweet spot that the Democrats have consistently ignored. And so I kind of think in terms of the money, I'm not going to sit here and say that, that this makes them into good people. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that if I'm a Democrat and I really want to earn the respect of intelligent Black voters, rather than criticizing what the Republicans are doing, I would actually do something better. Because if you think that it's inherently unethical or illegal or wrong to just go around handing money out, then go tell that to T.I. T.I. at Christmas time every year, T.I. goes into a Target and he tells all the single moms to put anything they want in the basket, and he pays for their layaway and pays for all their toys for their kids. Tyler Perry goes every year. He goes to some department store and he pays off the layaway of a bunch of people that have stuff on layaway at the department store. Drug dealers, when dope dealers are trying to gain favor with the community, what do? They hand out turkeys at Christmas time. They sponsor the local soccer team. So the idea of cash payments is not inherently in itself an unethical thing. I think what's unethical is to ask for a vote and offer nothing in return. I think that's the bigger issue, right? So I'm going to so we're going to call a meeting, a quick meeting. I'd like to call a meeting of the Council of Intelligent Black People. I got my Vicky Dillard hammer, and so a Vicky Dillard gavel. Sorry, it's a gavel, it's not a hammer. See, only ignorant people call this a hammer. But my Vicky Dillard gavel. So I'm calling a meeting of the Council of Intelligent Black People, and so I'd like to ask you to vote yes or no. Do you think that it's okay for politicians to give money to Black people? Yes or no? Is it okay to give money for politicians of any party to give money to Black people? Yes or no? So let's take a vote here. So give me yes if you think it's okay. If you would accept the cash, give me a no. If you think it's just bad and they're buying your vote and you're going to walk away from the money, give me a yes or no. Okay, I see Carlos says yes. Shelly says yes. Tony says yes. Metric says hell yes. Two Slice says no. Okay, Two Slice will stay broke. Good for you. Ramona Blake, yes. Michael Holmes, yes. Twan says quid pro quo. Okay, all right. So I see in somebody's name is in Japanese. That's quite fascinating. Okay, I see a lot of yeses. Ellen says no. Okay, good. All right. And I see a couple of no's. Actually, that's interesting. Okay, but I see a lot more yeses. So by the power invested in me by intelligent Black people all around the world, I vote that I'm going to go ahead and issue my verdict that it is okay for Black people to receive money and to take it. Because that does not mean that you have to go vote for whoever they tell you to vote for. It just means that they're throwing money at you in order to try to get your loyalty, which is fine. Let them bid on you. See, that's the thing. In negotiation, the best thing that can ever happen to you in a negotiation, this is what this is. They're negotiating to see who's going to get the loyalty of the Black community. The Democrats and the Republicans are fighting back and forth to see who's going to get the girl. Well, let me tell you this, little secret, ladies. If you ever get two men in a bidding war who are competing to get your attention, usually you're the winner of that competition. If you ever want to win a negotiation, allow a bidding war to happen, and each side will focus on outdoing the other side, and you'll be sitting in the middle winning. I'm just telling you, if you're looking for a job and you get, you're thinking about working at Chase Bank or Merrill Lynch, and Chase says we'll offer you 90,000. Merrill says no, we'll offer 100. Then Chase comes back and says we'll offer you 110, and Merrill says we'll offer you 120. Right? Then at the end of the day, you win. When there's competition, you win. So what I'm sitting here trying to say to you is that I don't really give a shit who you vote for. I truly do not care. Because I truly do not think it matters that much. I think that what's going to happen with Black people in the Black community is going to be determined by what we do, not by what they do. White people don't control my future. I just don't accept that, right? But here's the deal. If you create a bidding war and you let them bid and you hold back your loyalty and you say, he gave me an envelope full of money. What you got? You got something better? You trying to do the wobble and all that. That ain't gonna get my bills paid. You need to give me a bigger envelope and maybe I'll go vote for you. That's okay to do. It's okay to play them against each other. Let white folks take out other white folks so they can earn the loyalty of Black folks. How about that? Because they pretty good at getting you to kill each other over. Think about it. Have you ever seen two desperate ass Negroes competing for like one spot or one job, or two Black people pitted against each other, both trying to become the HNIC, or both trying to become like the biggest rapper in the game? Or they're like, we only got room for one of y'all. There can only be one Cardi B or one Little Kim or whatever. So we got to see who can get the most naked in order for you to get that one spot, right? They play you against each other all the time. They've been doing that to y'all since you were on plantations. Seriously, they've been doing it to y'all since slavery. So I'm saying, work the game in your favor. Let them be the crabs in the barrel. I am totally in favor of the Trump people going through the hood and handing out buckets of cash. And then if they call me, I swear to God, I put this on everything. If they call me and say, Dr. Boyce, we're trying to earn the loyalty of the African-American community. And we went to the hood and we were handing out envelopes full of money. And that doesn't seem to be working. What else can we do? I would be like, here's what you do. You go find a way for us to get a couple $1 billion worth of investment capital so that Black businesses can get funding, so their businesses can get off the ground and Black people can create jobs and buy the block and buy their neighborhoods. And also, I need about $100 million to go build some Black economic training centers in every hood across America so I can train young brothers on how to start businesses. And then they say, well, so if we do that, will you give us your endorsement? No, I'm not going to give you an endorsement. I'm not going to give you, you got to pay first. So you pay first, you make this happen, and then we'll talk about it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to renege. I'm going to take all the investment, and then I'm going to say, you know, I don't want to vote for anybody because I just don't have faith in this system. And so I just need to see a little bit more and whatever, right? Because they always reneging on you. They're always making false promises to you. So why don't we do the same thing? I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, just because they came through your hood and handed you an envelope full of cash, that does not on any planet mean that you have to give anybody your vote. I completely love the idea of people going through Black neighborhoods where people need money and handing out money. Because think about this. I mean, if the Democrats were doing it, they'd be all for it. They'd be like, yeah, way to go. This is great. Reparations, y'all. But when the Republicans do it, it's like, no, man, that's wrong. They're trying to buy your vote. Well, shit, that's how politics works. People's votes get bought every day. The White House itself is purchased by the highest bidder. Am I lying or telling the truth, or what am I doing? Am I lying or telling the truth? Tell me, am I telling the truth or what? Seriously, because at the end of the day, if you don't have $1 billion, you can't be president of the United States. Are you hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? You cannot become president if you don't show up with the money. If you show up without money, then you have no chance of becoming president of this country. So economics drives all of this. I just want Black people to get their cut. I don't care who you vote for. Just make sure you're getting something out of the deal. That's it. That's all I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you to go vote for Trump. I'm not telling you to do any of that. I'm telling you, just make sure that when you give up something as precious as your vote, that you get something in return. So the Democrats can get mad about the cash payments and all that, but man, please get out of here with that nonsense. They can get mad. If y'all really mad, then make bigger payments. Show up, and we're gonna have a competition on who's giving out the most cash. And I encourage all Black people to show up for both events. So go to the Trump event and get the Trump money, and then go to the Democrat event and get the Democrat money, and just make sure you get paid and taken care of. There you go. Play both sides against each other. Let them be the crabs in the barrel for a change, instead of you always taking each other out over crumbs. All right, anyway, I'm going to go hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, one more time, I want to mention to you guys, I'm going to be in Hanover, Maryland, actually speaking in March. So if you would like to join us in Hanover, Maryland in March, springintowealth.com. That's springintowealth.com. I'm doing an all-day event there for an organization that invited me out. That's springintowealth.com. Also, if you like t-shirts like this, some of you are asking about this t-shirt, we have a t-shirt line. It's wokeblacktees.com. That's wokeblacktees.com. So go over there and buy a shirt, express your Blackness. We got some really cool shirts over there that I think you guys are going to like. Also, last but not least, if you want to know more about what's going on, hey, Vicky Dillard, I see you in there, and I see Dual Victory. I just want to shout out two amazing Black women. And I see a lot of you other people in here as well. I see Michael Stallworth and Lori. Is that Lori Pepper and Papa Jose. I want to say thank you to all of you for supporting the platform. And so if you want to know more about what we got going on, go to BoyceWatkins.com. That's BoyceWatkins.com. So please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. I'm out of here, guys. And I will see you all maybe later on today or maybe tomorrow. So have a good evening. Peace.